Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Bitcoin report for Sunday, the December the 5th. We've seen Bitcoin fall out of bed with a large order of close on 200 million US dollars. So where do we pick it up from here? So today we're going to be looking at the bullish count and the bearish count. We're going to also be looking at the bigger picture as well. So we've got a fair bit to cover. So let's look at all the possible counts that are reasonable, and then make deductions from that particular point. So this is where we were last time we spoke. Well, not quite. We were looking for wave 1 here and looking for wave 2. Now it's pulled back to the 78.6, which is not a big deal. It's pretty much the same as the 61.8%. Obviously there's a difference, but in terms of a wave 2 pullback, the 78.6 is fine. I also see another little move to come down here, but we're going to talk about all the intraday moves in a minute. So this is where we sort of left off from, looking at this as wave 4 here with 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. And then moving up from there. So let's just move in on this. It does look a little bit drastic and a bit hard to sort of accept that, but I think it's important that we just look at it and finish it off as well. So from this wave 1 up here, we're looking down for an A wave, an A and a B and a C for the B wave 1 and 2. With Ethereum, we've got this wave C of B over here. So I think that's a better place for it. But in the meantime, in fact, I think I'll move it over now. I know it's not a biggie, but it's just something that we'll need to look at a little bit later on as well. But from here, with the same with Ethereum's got a nice clean top here. So sometimes, yeah. Anyway, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to move to move down here to finish that sequence off. So what we could say here is we could say anything below that wave 5 there, then we'll have a bigger picture coming down. But we need to know at what point, that we're going to be changing that count. So this is a 4-hour chart. I think this is a good time to have a look at Ethereum in its 4-hour count as well while we're here. So over with Ethereum here, we've had wave 1 up here. We can look at the 5 waves down here as wave A, and then an A and a B was an A and a B and a C here for the B wave, and 5 waves up through to here. We can take a look at that on the tick chart for wave B. But see how we've got a nice clean wave 1 and 2 here, and then down for 3 and wave 4, B in here somewhere. We'll look at that in detail, and down for wave 5. So in this case, we're not even at the 50-60% retracement level here. So we always knew that Ethereum was stronger than Bitcoin. We can see that in the ETH-BIT cross pair. So so here it all looks reasonably quite healthy, doesn't it? So once again, I think that we just wait for this move to come down here to finish that off, and then we take a look at that. And because it's really clean here, like with Bitcoin, we've got that we've got a couple of tops there. But if I take the Ethereum top and we just look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here, because they're moving together, when they're in markets are in fear, they tend to move together. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So if we just drill in here while we're here on this one and just look at this move down through here as 1 and 2, and then the 3rd wave here and the 4th wave here, and then coming down the 5th wave over there. That's a little bit far away, but that's alrighty as well. There we go. So I think we just we look for this to finish off here on the tick chart here for folks that would like to tune in on this move down here. This is how I've got it counted, and if you've got any different counts, that's always happy to hear. Sometimes I just don't have time to respond to all emails as well, guys. I'm really sorry. I'm normally quite good with things, but sometimes it's just it's just so many. So I do apologise. So please don't feel upset if I don't respond. But please keep sending stuff through, and I'll get to as many as I can. But from wave 2 here. I've got 1 and 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm pretty happy with that, and I'm happy with that little wave 4 there as well. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, which I've called wave 1 here, and then back for wave 2, drop for wave 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So I think that's quite a nice little count. I feel comfortable with that. If I felt weird about it, I'll let you know. This little bar here is the 38.2% retracement level. I'm not quite sure if that's the high there. I haven't actually pulled all these apart just yet, so I'm not quite sure of the ending here, but I do feel that that, as I just mentioned, we've got this other move to come down through here. So it kind of presents a nice situation really, because in terms of the trading levels, we can come down, and this is a medium level here, the 4,000, and if we get support back up on here with a classic trading levels pattern, not so much for hodlers but for traders, I suppose hodlers too, you know, we can look to go long there perhaps. We'll take a closer look at that tomorrow. When we look at this, okay? So yeah, don't jump the gun here too quick, and I should just sort of remove that, but just saying that, you know, we need to follow through on this being a possible low here. And as I mentioned with Ethereum on the 4-hour chart, comparing it to Bitcoin, it's kind of a nice situation. Now, I know that the C wave here is rather sharp, so that's a little bit haunting and tells me that we could be in a bigger bearish picture. But like I mentioned, we need to stay with the evidence rather than the emotional aspect of it, and we need to go any more of a bearish picture, we'll need to go past that 5 waves, and then we'll know that we need to go down. And, you know, we may need to look at this in the bigger bearish picture as wave 1 there, and then coming back for wave 2 over here. So I don't know that just yet. This is something that we just need to work through. I can only sort of work with the evidence, and when we've got the evidence in place for a run, we can take that run. It's as simple as that. So yeah, look, we need to work through that. But I think this is quite a nice, you know, corrective pattern, basically. You know, we know that Bitcoin is weaker, but the same thing applies here. If we look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so anything past the 78.6 here, which is the square root of 61.8%, which is just above here, it did sort of fall out of bed here quite quickly. But I think we'll just chill, and we'll just pick up the pieces here and see how this plays out. But any move below that, we need to look at, well, not even bearish counts. There's still bullish counts that we can have a look at, and that's what I kind of want to have a look at next. Do I need to pull this apart while we're here for this? I suppose we could. So from the B wave is 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and 5 here. So the 38.2% retracement level for this will be, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's just around here somewhere. So I think that it does look a little bit impulsive up here, so we may get something like this before, you know, wave 4s could be a bit complicated. So we could get something about like that. But like I mentioned, I haven't really pulled all that apart there, but I would like to go to the tick chart and just explain that for the folks that would like to understand how I've counted that. And because I think, you know, the devil's in the detail. So I don't know why they say the devil's in the detail. I mean, should be the other way around. Where are we here? So probably here will do the trick. So yeah, obviously Bitcoin appears a little bit sort of weaker, but from this wave 2 here, let's just pull this into this wave 3 low here for a moment and see if we can. It's a little bit tricky. Maybe I should have gone to the 10 tick chart, but anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2, and then a nice 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the 3rd wave, across for the 4th, down for the 5th of the 3rd, back to the 4th at that point, and then down for, well, from wave 4 down to 1 again, and then 2 here, and then 3, 4, and 5 for the wave 3 low there, and then coming back into this wave 4 here, which kind of looks impulsive here, but we probably get something, you know, like this, and then down again, something like that, some sort of wave 4-ish thing. That's 38.2% retracement level there. So we don't need to worry about that sort of too much. But once this low's in place here, once we get that low in place, then anything below that, we can look at the bigger bearish picture. But so we need to look for long trades here. But we also need to understand the key one of the keys will be understanding this move up here as being corrective or impulsive. So that's something that we need to work through. Now, that said, we will go and have a look at the bigger picture. So I think just staying on the bullish, just staying on the bullish note for a moment. I think we can also look at things like this as well. So wave 3, that's all a bit messed up because I was just using this chart, but we don't want that. So from the low here as 1 and 2, because I can count 5 waves up in this move here. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 1, an A and a B and a C back here for wave 2. So that takes us down into, well, say the 43,500 area there. So that's another possibility, and it's a nice wave 1 and 2 at that point, so that's possible. So that's just another bullish pattern that can, that is worth noting, that is worth putting forward, I'd say. It's something that we could take a look at. So okay, so on the bearish side, we've always had our bearish count of this one here. Well, we've had wave 3 over here with an A and a B wave here, and then 5 waves down for wave C. So there's a reasonable possibility this expanded flat correction could play out as well. Anyway, well, that's that in that regard, and also by counting this down here. I think we're doing that on the 2-hour chart, weren't we? So just carrying on from that, let's just put this into perspective. So in this case, we've got our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1, and then an A and a B and a C for 2. This could be configured differently, so if you've got it differently, that's okay. Some folks have got this here as a wave 4 here, but I just count 5, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, and I count 5 waves in either to here or to here, whichever way you want to go here, it doesn't really matter, and then 5 here. So it's hard for me to put this wave 4 over here, but I can understand why folks do it, and it looks all right. It does make a very small ABC pattern here for that, but that's okay, I guess. Anyway, the main takeaway here is that on the bullish count, as I mentioned, coming down to this wave 3, 4, and 5, anything below here would be bearish at that point. So that means that over here is where we could go. We could look at being bearish at this point over here. But we need wave 4 to finish off. We need wave 5, and then we need to just observe what this is. So this will be really important, this pattern here. So this will be where the focus is, because this is where, if it's going to break down, this is where it's going to break down from. So we can look at this here as 1 and 2. So over here, these 5 waves that we've got as wave 1, an A and a B and a C for 2, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for 1, and then an A, B, C back for 2, and then down for this other lot through here. Which one more move could take us down? Anyway, I won't talk about that. We'll just stay with the bearish count. So that's the bearish count at that point. So that's the bearish count that we've had as the alternative count. So that's on track. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, so that's where that is, So and also too, I'm in this boat as well with all of this. I've got positions in here as well. So I feel the pain of everybody else's, but I don't really consider it sort of painful. I think I had this account up to sort of, Australian dollars anyway, 330, 40, 50 or something $1,000. So it's quite a whack off from me. But at the same time too, as I'm a bit older and a bit more patient, I I'm a little bit excited about this actually. I think it's just such a fantastic opportunity to get more Bitcoin, no matter where it is, you know. So when this rally comes up here and drops down a little bit further, I'll pick some more up here, and I'll definitely be picking plenty up down here as well. I'll be hitting it hard down here. So, you know, I'm pretty excited because markets are just trends and corrections of different degrees. And if this is a correction here, then, you know, this is the last time you're going to get this at this price, I'd imagine. You know, at 50,000 or below 50,000 again. So the whole correction's been really quite good in a way, because it's allowed me to accumulate. You know, I haven't gone excessive. You know, it's just a trade for me. You know, it's just an investment sort of trade, and everybody's got different amounts of money, and you know, I don't have much, but it's all panned out quite nicely for me because I've just been buying whenever I can. You know, dollar cost averaging. So I'm pretty excited if it drops down here further. Now, we need to have a look at the bigger picture. So I think that we need to go to the weekly chart for that. So on the weekly chart here, this is another possibility here. So I just want to talk about a few things here now. I haven't actually pulled all this apart down through here just yet. I can see straight away that it could be counted in lots of different ways, right? But we know that Bitcoin is just the blockchain. You know, this is Web 3. We've had Web 1, we've had Web 2. Web 2 is, you know, well, Web 1 is just the website, you know, with a web page, HTML, and then we've got Web 2, which is the Twitter and the Facebook and YouTube, those sorts of applications. They're Web 2, and blockchain is Web 3. So, you know, are we going to get a Web 4? Is that the metaverse? I mean, I like the metaverse thing, and I've got Oculus, and I sort of understand it, but I don't really like having headsets on my head for more than, you know, 10, 15, 20 minutes tops, you know, if that, you know, like 5 or 10 minutes, you know, is enough metaverse for me with the Oculus. So I don't think it's going to be big as it, I mean, it will be big, no worries about that, but the blockchain with its security, Web 3, is just going to be big. So to me, all this is, you know, this is all just starting, you know, this beast is just waking up. So the volatility in here creates opportunity, not fear. Let the others fear. Let's just, you know, build this and take it, you know, 5 to 10 year view of all of this. Okay, that said, sorry to waffle on. Everybody enjoys a little bit of waffle, and you got to give it to people now and again, don't you? So, okay. If we look at this as Wave 3 up here, then we need to look at this as this move here as Wave 1 and 2, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for the third wave, and then we've got the fourth wave here that I'm not that happy with, because I pulled back 50%, really, between 50 and 60, so it's okay. So we could call this here as 1 and 2 here, so I'm just going to be shooting the breeze on a couple of counts, okay? So 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 here. In this case, if we've got Wave 5 here, how do we look at that? So we could look at it as, well, from the low here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could look at it as Wave 1 here, and then coming back for Wave 2, because that's where the 50-60% retracement level is, at this down here somewhere. So just bear with me there, just roughly speaking. So we can see that we're back down here, which down here, by the way, is where that expanded flat correction comes anyway, doesn't it? You know, that A wave, B wave, and C wave down here. So that fits there as well. So even if this was 1 and 2, and this is kind of, this is a possibility of where the share market is as well, by the way. And this falling from grace up here, you know, from put it onto the Omnicron if you want, but this top and this was forming before that, so obviously it's helped it along a little bit. But the equity markets is in the same situation as this, and I pointed that out with the turn of Bitcoin and the turn of indices as well. So it's a general asset thing. So we could look at it as wave 1 and 2 there. That would be a logical step. That still just takes us down to where the expanded flat is occurring. The other way to look at this, which I thought was quite interesting, is that if we took this as wave 1 over here, which is not such a bad call because it did pull back a long way, and we could put wave 2 over here, and then we could, I'll just move this out the way for a moment, and this 5 waves up here, that can be wave 3 up here. And if that's the case, then we'd be looking at a 38.2% retracement level. So if I take this down here just really roughly and take it to the top there roughly, a bit hard to see in there, but just in there, that's the 38.2%, which comes across on this line through here. And so yeah, that takes us into that point there. So I can just remove that. And that means that, just as another possibility, that we could put, I'll just pop him over there, as a wave 4 there. Now, this is also a count that we're working on with the equities as well. So, I mean, it has dropped a little bit lower here for that, but, it certainly could play out in that particular space. And then if that's the case, then we'll have a wave 5 moving up here further for that. So whichever way I look at this, it's some sort of corrective pattern in here that we're working with, and all it's going to do is bring opportunity, and we'll eventually understand it. It will unfold to a point where we will understand. It will become apparent. What it is. But the other thing that I want to explain here as well, and this is more of a trading levels thing, is that if I just remove these for a moment, this whole correction here is all about trading level 5, the 50,000 in this case. It could be 5 cents, $5, $50, 500, whatever, but in this case it's 50,000. This whole correction here is all about the number 5. That's all it is. And all it's doing is it's just swinging across this. That's all it's, that's what's sort of happening with all of this at the moment with this. So, it's just going to get to a point where I'm not talking Elliott here now. I'm just talking about something that will be something, it'll build, and then it'll just be something like it. It's going to be sticking to this, the more it comes down here, the more it will want to get back to that point because it's basically a balance point. I mean, it could be, yeah, I mean, most of the time in one way or another, I don't know, it will just peter into this, it'll just peter into this particular level here, and then continue to move up. That's basically what it's doing in the bigger picture. But how it configures itself in here is a little bit of a guessing game. It's a puzzle that we need to solve, and parts of the puzzle we can get, and parts of the puzzle we can't get. But I want to let you know that with the trading levels, and it's something that I've been working with for a long time, and I understand them. I understand what I'm looking at here. This is simply a correction across this level here, and the market won't be going. It won't be leaving this. It won't be leaving it, by much. I mean, if it does come down, it's just going to come back to these lows, and I couldn't even imagine it coming back that far. It could probably come back and cover that gap around the 30,000 mark here, but it'll be something like that. So all the counts that we have, wave 2 or wave 4 in the bigger picture, or the expanded flat, all just allow us more opportunity to buy in here, and then eventually one day it's just going to be sitting on this level here, and then it'll just take us up to 100 at that point. So it needs to play out here a little bit further. So we're going to spend more time here, and I kind of knew that. I remember going on a website when folks were guessing about, it was in January, and everybody was guessing about where the market was going to be, by the end of the year, by Christmas time now. And, folks were going 200,000 and all this sort of stuff, and 300,000 and 500,000 and all the rest of it. I think I was the lowest at 50,000. So that was in down here somewhere, beginning wherever it was, in here somewhere, because I understood that the number 5 is the second strongest number and it's going to hold the market. And I thought it may be finished with it and we could, continue to move up with this and, and be on our way. But it's not the case. So we're going to be seeing, in one way or another, we're going to be seeing some more price activity somewhere in this space before it gets support and goes up. That's what I think. It needs to sort of balance. This whole thing needs to balance out a little bit more with all of this. So, stay positive and try to see it as an opportunity, because I tell you, once this correction is finished at these levels here at the 50,000, we're not ever coming back here. So the longer that we can be here, the better off we are. These months ahead is where we just need to be well, it's what I will be doing and I have been doing, is just continually buying and building up here, so I'm very excited about this, so I hope you are too. So I'll leave it at that, and tomorrow and the next day we'll pick up and understand the intraday patterns in here, and we'll try to solve the puzzle of what particular pattern that we're in. Alrighty? Okay, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.